you know, not in their right mind, man. You know, but they've heard the word. That's the thing, man. This word is going out. So if we're able to push this word out, and our people know that what a Hebrew is, what an Israelite is, these Edomites, these Caucasians got to know they're Edomites. They're the devil, according to the Bible. They need to know that. Right. All these nations need to know who they are and why hell is going to come and going to destroy them. Why the Most High is going to wipe them out. Utterly wipe them out. Right?
Matthew 24:14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. And then shall the end come. If I can say something? There's 2 points that just stuck out. It said, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world. So YAHAWASHI said that the kingdom of heaven is within us. So the brother's saying that those nigger women, knowing that that we're Hebrews, and part of them knowing that that we're Hebrews lets you know that them hearing the word or hearing something about being Hebrews is part of the kingdom of heaven being set up. All right, because part of acknowledging who you are or waking up to the fact that you're an Israelite, that's a step to the kingdom being even closer, man. You know, and then it said for a witness unto all nations, because you got Israelites in all nations of the world. So at the same time, Israelites in these other nations are finding out who they are. The actual other nations themselves are finding out who they are. All right, and here in America, you got every nation under the sun here in America. You know, if you look at the apostles' videos, there'll be an Elamite that'll come up 1 week, a Moabite that'll come up 1 week. So you know, when they go back home or back to their home country, they communicate with their family members. Hey, we was in New York, and there were some guys that were saying that we was Moabites or Japhites. You know, so these nations is finding out who they are at the same time Israel is waking up to who they are.
Hey, and isn't that's the spirit of the other nations, man? And that's just, to hear something new. So you don't think that when one person comes by and they get rebuked, or they get taught, or they learn something, or whatever the case, you don't think that's the hot topic for them to talk about with their friends? You don't think that they can't wait to go sit down? Hey man, you know what I heard, man? I was over here, these guys, man, tripping, saying this and that. And then someone in that circle, he's gonna confess that he knows something. He's like, oh yeah, I seen that on YouTube. He's like, he's like, dang, that's what Mike Epps was making fun of. Somewhere, somehow, it's gonna turn into a full conversation to where, look, that blood's gonna be clean, man, off our hands, because they knew and they heard. And when YAHAWASHI comes back, he said, look, I didn't know you, I don't know you. They're gonna be trying to praise Jesus, and they're gonna, those guys were right, yeah, save me. YAHAWASHI's gonna be like, I don't know you, you didn't do shit for me, man. Why would I do anything for you? Did you find that? Yeah. We'll bring that out real quick.
This is on Matthew chapter 11, verse 12. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force.
Right, force. The kingdom of heaven is within us, man. Okay, it's within us, and it says that we're suffering violence to this day, from the days of John the Baptist until now, and the violent take it by force. So who took us against our own will and made us look and dress like this, man? Who's got us wearing name brand shit, or Walmart shit, or swap meet clothing? Who's got us wearing shit like this, man? Who took us? Who took us away from our fringes and our borders of blue? Who took us away from our beards, man? Who took us away from our multiple wives? Who took us away from our tents? Who took us away, man? The violent. That so-called white man took us away, man. And it's so fucked up that in this society, there was a motorcycle crash down by the Safeway, and an SUV ran into this motorcycle and killed the guy, and the guy ran out of the SUV, and they said he looked like a Hispanic. But the thing is, you got some of these nations, and it was dark. He said he was wearing white t-shirt and some blue jeans. and you look Hispanic, man, that could have been a fucking Cambodian. It could have been a Laotian. You know, it could have been a goddamn Chinese, man. You know them gooks can't fucking drive. You know. But that's just going on to say that, look, man, no matter what happens, we're the ones that get the stigma quicker. Well, the darker you are, you got a closed down shaved head, you're stigmatized, and anyone that looks something relatable to you, they want to put it on our nation first, man, before they go after anyone else. Rather than saying, oh, he was a dark-skinned man, we're not sure if he was Latino or this or that, right? They just blatantly put it out there, right? And you got the fucking car, the vehicle, he left the scene. Why don't you run the plates, man? Fingerprints is bullshit, man. That shit don't even work because your body changes every couple of years. So unless they fingerprint you every like couple of months, once or twice a year, that shit don't work, man. And they know that shit. That's why you don't hear about all these crimes being solved, man. Because their database is bullshit. That's another fucking lie they put out there. And they'll use that against you. You're sitting there like, oh, we got your fingerprints. No, you fucking don't. Last time I had my fingerprints taken was in like 05. It's been 9 years? Is that right? 11 years? Salaki. It's been 11 years, man. There's no way my fingerprints are the same that they were, man. Everything changes, man.
Yeah, that's true because if you ever watch them dumbass CSI movies or shows and shit, it only gives them like a 90% chance that it's you. It's never 100% correct. It's like they have so many cues of your fingerprints that match, and then that's how they come and get you. Right. Then they get you with other shit, eyewitness or somebody placing you around the place of the crime, and then they put it all together, and that's how they get you.
And even then, that's been found out to be false, man. So you see, we're suffering violence to this very day. The violence, they've taken us by force, man. They're killing us on a daily basis.
Lamentation 3:46. All our enemies have opened their mouths against us.
See? All of our enemies, man. You think these other nations are our friends or they're our brothers? They're not family, man. That's not your family. YAHAWASHI said, who is my mother, who is my brother, who is my sister? It's a basic concept, a basic lesson. You bring it out every week, brothers bring it out every week. Them that do the will of my Father. What's the will? Doing the work. So who the fuck's doing the work, man? Is it Fopi? Is it Fappy? Fappy ain't doing shit. You know? Is it HODOC? HODC 12? They ain't doing shit. IXUPK ain't doing shit, man. They're doing plenty of kosher fish dates and shit, man, for the Passover. And we'll hook you up with the protector, with the killer. What the fuck kind of shit is that, man? What kind of, you're advertising for the Passover, man? Most High's got a strong judgment against you people, man. And that's the worst thing. It shows you guys have no fears, that the Most High is keeping you alive. He's letting you live through all this, man. Why? So he can burn you up, man. You really got to be pissed at something enough to be like, look, I fucking hate you so much, but I'm gonna get this fire going. And I'm gonna get this fire fucking red hot. I'm gonna grab your ass and I'm gonna fucking toss you in there. Don't they say revenge is a dish best served cold? Isn't that a cold way to go? Look, I'm gonna dig a pit. I'm gonna put this. You brothers seen those cooking shows where they cook in the pit? How hot that shit gets? It's instant cooked. Yeah, that's the Most High he's doing. He's letting you dig your hole. Go ahead, dig that hole, man. Dig into hell. Go for it, man.
The heat doesn't dissipate. It stays right there. It's condensed. It's just right there. It doesn't go nowhere. Yep. That earth is a insulator, man. It insulates the heat, and the heat just stays there.
Yeah, the proof of that too. There was a guy in South America. He's the last guy of his tribe. He's like 20 something, maybe in his 30s by now. The last guy of his tribe, and these Edomites are trying to hunt him down to converse and talk with them, and he's living in a hole. Everywhere he keeps running from these fuckers, and he digs like a 4-foot hole and he covers it up and shit, and he'll make like a little tent on top so he can pop out and spear him and shit. And one of the Edomites got speared because he got too close, and he's standing there and he thinks that he can get in and break the language barrier or some shit, and he fucking gets stabbed up. So nah, he fucking made it, you know, saved for the missiles. So then So then the government steps in and gives them a 30-mile radius area around this guy. The last known place he was spotted, all right, 30 miles, no one goes in 30 miles. Like, damn, that's some shit.
Doesn't abide by no damn rules. That's why all the animals are extinct, man. They put them on a endangered species list, and then they put them in their little secluded little area, and then they still go in that motherfucker and hunt them and kill them.
And that's the point, because there's no money down there. So you get Jakes, you get other Jakes that'll take that'll give an illegal tour to go find and see these indigenous tribes. And these Edomites that'll pay money and stuff, they'll go and they'll leave their trinkets on the shore, and then the indigenous people pick them up and they get sick and die. So you see, these devils to this day, they give us no rest, man. Our enemies are multiplied against us, even our own people. They're multiplied against us, man. Go ahead.
Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
Right, they'll come up with these laws and these legislations, and they'll pass it. And they'll do it behind, oh, there's a massive school shooting, and they pass legislation.
Hey, that dude, he's the last man of his tribe left. They're oppressing that man's heritage. You know, his heritage is really that of an Israelite. All right, but he's down there running around crazy, on some apocalypto shit. So in his mind, that's his heritage, and they're trying to, like they did Gad, they're trying to kill the Indian and save the man.
Right.
You know?
But then they're gonna come back 20, 30 years later and want to know his tribal songs, and his ancient ancestry, and do you have any history, and what folklore can you offer us? Yeah, Jake, man, sometimes Jake takes the opportunity to make shit up. Be like, okay, we'll feed him a story. You don't think that's happened? It's happened before, where Jake will just feed these crazy crackers a story. You know?
What movie was that in? When the fucking Russian dude wanted him to chant shit?
Maverick.
Maverick, yeah.
Maverick.
He's like, I don't know that shit, man.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, he just wanna see some real live Indians. So we just chant and we do some little
every couple hours.
And then he pays us money to see the shit. That shit's funny, man. I got a precept for you.
Yeah, that's based on a true thing, man. They say that art imitates life. That wasn't just for shock and awe value. This is real shit that happens, man.
Exactly. Oh yeah, and in a couple other movies I've seen it too, where they reenact their battles.
Oh yeah.
And then they had to make a skit of it and then reenact. That's how they used to do it back in the days too. You just had a little midget, the jester. He'll reenact the battles that they had, and he'll be the victor and all that shit. They show you in Game of Thrones they do that shit. Yeah, so ain't no new thing under the sun. This is Ezekiel 35 and 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that they had, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Right. So exactly, backing up what his brother read, oppressing a man and his heritage, and going after him and plotting day and night how to kill us, man, physically and even more importantly spiritually now. So because you haven't stopped and you haven't ceased, and that's the main thing you always got to ask these young Edomites, man. It's like, okay, well, why aren't you correcting the mistakes of your forefathers, man? Why aren't you, if you recognize that what happened was wrong and that shit wasn't right, why aren't you trying to make it better, man?
Right.
Why aren't you being a bigger person here? Because I'm right, because we're the bad guy, because we're saying you're devils, this and that, right? But you're not going to be the bigger person and correct the mistake? Even though you're given that opportunity, you're still not going to do the right thing? So because you haven't hated blood and you've pursued it, the Most High has prepared you unto blood, man. Going back to that fire pit, man. The Most High is preparing this place for missiles, okay? For the greatest campfire of all, man. So all you little Boy Scouts Okay, be prepared to come roast your marshmallows, man. Your marshmallow's about to get roasted. Okay? All these fucking monkeys off the chain out here, man. These my kids. They're gonna be dashed to pieces, dashed against the stones, man.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, and swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Right. Who's that nation talking about? It's talking about the nation of Edom. Right now you know it better as America. And right now you know them better as Caucasians. But the Bible, the biblical name is Edom.
Right.
The spiritual city name is Babylon.
It started with the Greeks, and then the Romans. You know, all the way to today. It started with the Greeks, Alexander the Greek, the Romans, all right, and then till today, man, they constantly, you know, beat us with that continual stroke, man. You know?
Yeah, they never let up, man. And they came speaking another language. We're speaking this bastard-ass language. It's confusing as fuck sometimes, man. As much repetition as we have in speaking English and looking at words, I still get confused sometimes. And I gotta pull up the fucking Google, like, shit, is it I before E, except after Y? And
I before E, except after C.
Yeah, it's gotta be I-E, the consonant,
believe,
the vowel,
deceive,
the verb, the pronoun, the adjective. Making something a double negative, like more gooder. You know, language is totally just fucked up, man.
Better, best.
Don't use. You can't put. You can't put. And then you can't put good at the end of a sentence. You have to use well. Like, oh, this is good. You know, or I'm good. No, it's supposed to be I'm well. This is all this weird ass fucking language, man. You know. So that's another way he's oppressed us. He's taking us away from our language, man. A language carries power. It tells you that in the prologue of Sirach. The language carries power, man. In the American language has no power. You know? It has no power. That's why a lot of these songs, they don't make fucking sense, man. And you brothers know, I'm constantly talking shit about songs, new songs. I'm like, what the fuck's he talking about?
Apostle Gabar just did a GMS mailbag on that. How this music is ain't shit, you know?
It shows there's 11 reasons why music sucks. And it's one of the reasons was basically because they put music on, they put the lyrics that they write to the song, they don't want it to be informative or educational. They say, oh, it don't sell. So they purposely put out these songs that say a whole lot of nothing, because it rings a bell in these people's minds, showing you how stupid people are. And it gets them, they repeat it, the same thing over and over again, so it gets stuck in people's minds, like, oh yeah, I know, you know, it gets their head moving. But they purposely make the songs, basically, they dumb down the lyrics, man, you know?
I'm just finishing up. Verse 50, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
So, you see that constantly, right? The elderly and the youth getting killed. You know, that's why a lot of our people, they're surprised to make it past the age of 18 and 21, man. You know, because this devil, he's got no mercy. But again, let an Edomite kid do some dirt, and they're not gonna gut him down. They're gonna take him alive.
What
was it? The little fucking boy that was stealing planes and shit. The barefoot bandit. That man was supposed to have been doing like 100, 200 years and shit for all the shit he did. This nigga got a movie deal and shit off of all the dirt he did. He was stealing planes, man. He was stealing planes and flying over to Jamaica and shit, man. Motherfucker.
And that's where he got caught. He got caught down there in the islands because he stick out like a sore thumb.
Right. That was stupid, man. That was stupid. But look how far he was able to get because no one was questioning his white power, man.
Exactly.
No one questioned his white face. You know.
This is going back to the to music. This is Ecclesiastes 12:4. And the door shall be shut in the streets, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and the daughters of music shall be brought low.
Right, and that's what you see. There was that that murder that happened at some high school, and they're blaming it on Rihanna.
Yeah.
You know, bitch better have my money. Right? They're blaming it on shit like that, man.
Hey, but that's what they want, though. That's what they want, man. You know, you have a culture and a society that promotes death and video games and all that, TV shows, even cartoons that show Tom and Jerry. You know, a murder and the Roadrunner. You know, so when kids, you condition them to think like that since they came out the womb. And now your society is portraying that. You know, how can you try and blame the people that set up to brainwash these people when that's what they were set up for, man?
Right.
They're not blaming that white boy that's drill time rapping. What's that white boy from Slim Jesus? They ain't blaming him for none of the shit. They're not saying that the motherfucker committed a murder because him rapping. Because they're trying to say that he got the shit from niggas anyway.
Yeah, exactly, because he wasn't a progenitor.
Exactly, yeah.
But they wasn't saying nothing way back in the 1920s when Looney Tunes was subliminally basically killing black people and shit, man. Or doing saying racist stuff against black people and whatnot. But now Jake doing it. Jake saying F Donald Trump and whatnot. Now it's a big deal, man. Right. You know, Esau's a hypocrite, man.
Yeah, who the fuck is Donald Trump anyway? Racism. Yeah, now it's reversed. The only reason it can be reversed is because you fucking started. So it shows you that these Edomites, they don't believe in justice. What goes around comes around. They don't believe in it, man. You know, and another thing with the daughters of music being brought low, they're showing you that the music is getting worse. Meaning like it's whack. It's getting less and less about the music and more about the music video.
Hey, all that music now is all it is enchantments and divinations. Because I remember back when I like I said, about a year before I woke up to the truth, I started noticing that a lot of music, they were saying the chorus, they were saying the same shit over and over again, and then it trickled down to like the last verse or last what do you call that? The last bar or whatever,
couple bars.
Last couple bars, it'd be like they'll say something and then they'll repeat the same thing like 2 or 3 times before the song, before they end the song, and I was just like, I would be like, man, what the fuck? What is this? I was like, man, this shit is shit that white people would do because they ain't got no fucking rhythm or something.
That nigga Lil Wayne started doing that shit before a lot of them. He starts like repeating the whole fucking phrase all over again. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, back in the days, music had a format. You had 3 verses, you had 3 hooks, and then they start bringing in fucking what's the other shit they put then they start bringing in bridges, and I was like, I didn't even like that when they had bridges because then it takes away from a whole verse. Now you only can have a verse. And then they start just repeating the whole damn everything. You know, singing is one thing because they hit a higher pitch and they'll harmonize more with the second verse, even if they're saying the same words.
Was you done?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, a song basically was made up of you had the intro, you had the chorus. Then you had the first verse, then you had the bridge, then you had the chorus, then you had the outro. Now the songs are just made up of an intro, the hook, a verse, a hook, all the way through. You know, so that just go to show you that this America's basically finished, man. You know?
It ain't nothing but enchantments in somebody grab that, man. 23 and 23 numbers.
Yeah.
You know, because ultimately, like that's why these Edomites is and the heathens in general, they're so, man. We was on the bus, me and one of the brothers, and we met this Japhite. And if you was talking to this bitch on the phone, you would have thought it was a nigga woman, man. You know, she talking like a nigga woman, acting like a nigga woman, doing everything a nigga woman would do. More of a nigga woman than a nigga woman, right? So these heathens are captivated by what Jake does, even though what Jake does to propel in this world is on the left hand side is all wicked. They take that and they run with it. All right, so that's why Esau uses Israelites to do his biddings, you know.
Oh, kind of. Before I read this real quick, there was this dude, I forget his fucking name, but he was higher up in the music industry, and he was giving up the game about the industry on how they have this back room where they put the spells on the music, and they got the pentagram and.
Professor Griff.
I forget his name. That nigga Sadrin was gonna hit me to show me this shit. But the nigga was saying how he said there's certain people where the enchantments don't work on. And you know, he was talking about Israelites. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm gonna get the scripture. But he was like, it's certain people that doesn't work on. Basically, in a roundabout way, he was saying that the only way that they can get them is if they sell their soul. Right. It's the only way they can get them. But these Edomites and these heathens, they'll hear the music and they'll get caught in that spell. But Jake won't. Jake has to actually sell their soul to actually for Satan to really enter into him like that.
It's like a hypnotic. It puts them in a trance.
Exactly.
Then they start doing what the music does. That's why you got all these bitches twerking and shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because all they say twerk, 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 twerk. And the female being the weaker vessel, they hear that and that's all they want to do is twerk, man. And then not the men, not the boys.
It even goes to the cartoons, man.
Yeah. It goes all the way back to the beginning again. Because even in the movie theaters, they'll play certain tones which you can't hear, but it'll invoke a sense of like sadness or euphoria. Danger. So when you're watching this movie, you notice you always notice when you watch movies, it's an emotional roller coaster. It's like, oh, it's always, you know, it'll start out cheery and happy, then it'll get to this high point of comedy, and it gets to this low point, like, oh, you feel sad for the character, because they want you to buy into it, man. And that's what they do. They're just putting a spell on you. Exactly. So it's those vibrations that they put out there, and we brought this out before, but there's a thing called S-Quad, or SSSS, which it's basically a program where they'll shoot frequencies over, and they'll pinpoint them in certain areas or certain people, and they'll hear voices, or they'll see certain things, or they'll feel a certain way, and they'll go on a killing spree, you know, or they'll kill themselves, or they'll do something crazy. But that's an old government thing that they've been doing for a while, and all that came from the advancement of these movies and cartoons and music, man. Because they learned that's what a spell means, or a word. They put a word out there. They put a spell, a vibration, that divination. Okay, they put that out there, and they'll try to control you. You know?
Like the brother on the camera said, they showed it in the movie Kingsman. That was a prime example. Yeah.
Just one more thing. And that's what they do with this propaganda, man, because propaganda, that's a thing they do in the military sect. And one of the major